Rockers, check it out. Totally unique little thing here. This is the FREERANGE Germanium PREAMPLIFUZZER. Coming to you all the way from Poland, I do believe. ANALOGWIISE pedals. Now this doesn't look like a pedal, right? So it's kind of a unique design, amp top style box, like an always-on device or something that you can go back and kind of flip switches on and turn knobs, but there's not actually a bypass on it. So it harkens back to the days of like maybe the old Rangemaster treble boosters, where, you know, a little box that would sit on top of your amp, and it was a integral part of the guitar sound. So what's going on with this is there's two separate germanium circuits in it, two separate germanium gain stages that feed in series into one another. And via these little toggle switches here, you can set each gain stage to be either a treble boost, kind of a cleanish amplifier, still with some color though, or more of a full range boost with even more color. So in other words, you could have like a clean boost feeding into a treble booster, or a treble booster feeding into a full range boost, or two treble boosters in series, with a separate gain dial here for each amplification stage. And then this big control right here, what this does is it controls basically how much low end, I do believe, is in the circuit, in front of the whole circuit, and then also in the middle of the two gain stages. So you're able to kind of, you know, control the amount of fullness in the sound. And in practice, I would say like the most Rangemaster type sounds are with most of the bass cut all the way in the skinny position here. It's labeled skinny or chunky on this side. And depending, it's very amp dependent, depending on what pickups you're using and what amplifier you're using, you know, you can fine tune in the amount of tightness versus kind of the amount of, you know, girth in the sound. And there's like all shades in here, all the way from treble boosts and really kind of skanky, skinny, thin sounds. I mean, you can make humbuckers sound more like single coils and get some very sort of Zeppelin-esque, like kind of filtered tones, or maybe like Dean DeLeo, you know, skanky, nasty, kind of very colored sort of, you know, P90-ish or telly sounding sorts of sounds, all the way through to massive fuzz, big, fat, corpulent tones. And it also responds to your guitar volume control, much like, you know, a Rangemaster or Germanium fuzz would, where you roll down, things clean up, a lot of high end comes into the signal, and it's really fun. There's all kinds of shades and variations of tone available via your guitar volume control. So I really like it. I mean, it harkens back to an era when, you know, these types of devices would be a major part of a guitarist's sound. When we think about Brian May or Tony Iommi, you know, without their treble booster germanium boxes, their guitar tones would have been very, very different. Then if you adopt it and like it, it could just end up being a major part of your guitar sound, you know, mated with a certain amplifier and a certain guitar. That's how great guitar tones, you know, iconic tones like Brian May's, and that's how they were created. I think of Ritchie Blackmore too, with his Akai tape deck as a preamplifier before his Marshalls. You get the idea. All right, so I'm gonna play some more through this device now and turn the knobs, flip the switches, and show you some more about how I got the sounds on that song at the beginning of the video. I used it with my old 50-watt Marshall mainly, but I also cut the cleaner part and the bridge, the kind of beatly part. I did that through this top hat amp on the normal channel. It's basically like an AC30, so I mixed it up a bit for amps. All right, let's get on with it. It is the FREERANGE from ANALOGWIISE pedals. All right, so I'm running the FREERANGE booster into my old Marshall 50-watt, 72 50-watt, and I'm going into the normal channel, kind of like early Judas Priest. You know, they used to run Rangemasters and stuff into the normal channel on an old Marshall heads. I'm using a loop switcher here, which allows me to switch it in and out. This is just a passive loop switcher. It doesn't change the sound of anything or buffer or do anything like that. This is the sound without the box in line. It's pretty woolly and dark, right? So I got a weird alternate tuning going for this song, so don't let it confuse you, but it's like B, G, D, G. It's very strange what I got going on right now. So let me switch in the FREERANGE right now, and you can hear how much of a difference it's making on the way I've got it dialed up right now. Weird tuning. I don't even know how to play in this tuning other than the song. I just wrote it. But anyway, you can hear that it's given me a great old school rock metal kind of, you know, distortion. Just clarifies everything really nicely. So I did two rhythm tracks on the song at the beginning of the video, and I'm using one setting on the FREERANGE booster on one of the tracks, and I'm using a different setting on the other track. So For the track in the right speaker, this is the sound once again. And this is a treble booster on this side of the unit. Okay, so I've got the switch all the way up here in treble position. And it's a full range boost on this side. So the switch is in the all the way down position on this side. And I'm using the control that cuts low end in the all the way cut position for this. Because I found that it just gave me the tightness I wanted. It starts getting a little fuzzy when you're using the full range with this much gain. So if I turn it up. Cool sound too, it's just getting a little less tight, you know, the further up you go. Especially when you're using the full range mode. So I found it worked best, you know, with the treble booster on this side, full range on this side, all the low end cut. And that was a cool tone for this part. Now if I switch in the treble booster on the other side, this is what I did for the rhythm guitar in the left channel. So now it's like two treble boosters, basically. I also had this gain control up a little bit higher for this part. I had the low switch actually in the second position, because now we're treble boosting both sides and I can add a little more low end back in the signal. This tone sounds like this. Similar, just a little bit different. You know, I could probably even go one higher on the bass cut. Right? Really cool sounding, great old school rock tones. So that's what I did for the rhythm guitars in the track. And once again, if I take it out of line, okay, and the other thing about the sound is, well, as with a lot of germanium devices, just the way they work in conjunction with the guitar, when I roll the volume down, I get a nice, like, pretty radical cleanup. So that's how I played the intro. Right, that kind of thing. And check out how dark it sounds with the unit switched out, just the amp tone. Right? I mean, it just does a, you know, magic thing for the clarity on this this really dark amp sound. Okay, so I just cut a part where now I'm actually playing through my old top hat amp up there, that King Royale, on the normal channel, and it's cranked way up just like a la Brian May. Both sides are in the treble boost mode, and I'm using all the bass cut, like it's cut all the way. And the reason is I wanted to get a part that was kind of skanky sounding, kind of thin sounding, you know, like one of those filtered sounds like you might hear like Dean DeLeo or maybe at times Brian May use. So that was it's a middle position on this PT guitar here, Sir Guitar, and I'm using the two humbuckers, but it almost sounds like single coils. Almost stratty, you know, and listen to the difference that the device makes when I turn it off, when I switch it out of line. You know, you can take a fairly terrible kind of dull amp sound and really modify it into something cool with this device. Really snotty it's sounding, but clarity, and it was like nice for the track because it cuts right through. So to play the last leads in the song at the beginning of the video, I used the treble booster on the left side, and it's cranked. You can hear the hiss coming through the amp, probably through the mic on the camera, but it's cranked up almost on 10 on the treble boost. And then I'm using the full range boost on the right side once again. I seem to like this setup, like treble boost on this side, full range on this side. either that or both on treble booster. And the full range I've only got on about half. And I'm using the old Marshall. This time I'm jumpering the channels, so I'm using a bit of the lead channel too. So it's kind of like a rock crunch tone. Like that. But when I turn on the pedal, it just kicks it right over the top. And I've got the bass on about half, like the bass cut switch. It's almost like a treble booster meets a fuzz, meets a boost. And when you roll the treble down, or sorry, when you roll the volume down, excuse me, it gets real snotty and like this treble comes in the sound. Thanks for watching my video on the free-range germanium preamplifuzzer from my friends at Analog Devices all the way over the pond in Poland. It's super unique, super fun. As soon as I pulled it out of the box, I was intrigued. Your friends will be intrigued too. It's a cool conversation piece. I mean, hey, look cool, like, you know, on your coffee table, as well as on top of your amplifier or in your studio. And there's a whole wide range, whole shade of, you know, tones in there, everything from treble boost to clean boost to super fat fuzzed out tones. What's not to like? Check it out, that link down there in the video description below. You can click there for more info on the free range. And thanks so much to ANALOGWIISE for your patience. I know it's taken me a long time to get to making this video, but finally did it. Alright y'all, I am Pete Thorne. Take care. Over and out.